As some of you has noticed, I don't have a new iPhone. I have a very old iPhone, an iPhone XS Max. And the reason why I don't buy a new iPhone is because of this. The iPad Air 4 or the iPad Air 2020. I use this iPad as an iPhone. I do everything I do normally on an iPhone on this iPad instead. I never do calls on my iPhone, for example. I never take calls or anything else. I use messaging and all that, and I can do that on the iPad Air 4. The iPad Air 4 is everything for me. I do all the work on it using the Magic Keyboard and so on. With this Magic Keyboard, it transforms the iPad into a real laptop. So the iPad Air 4 is both an iPhone for me and a real computer as a laptop. So I have replaced the need of a new iPhone because I bought this iPad Air 4. But I bought the iPad Air 4 without cellular connection. So this is only a Wi-Fi model. And the reason why I choose to buy the Wi-Fi model of the iPad Air 4 is because of the Apple Watch. The Apple Watch is a really important device for me, and you can't pair an Apple Watch with an iPad Air 4. You need an iPhone for that. So if I have bought the iPad Air 4 with a cellular connection using mobile data, then yes, I potentially could use only the iPad Air 4 and doesn't need an iPhone because I don't do any calls, as I said, but I still need my Apple Watch. So I have solved that by using my old iPhone XS Max as a mobile hub, mobile data hub. So I connect both the iPad Air 4 and my Apple Watch to the old iPhone XS Max. So basically the iPhone XS Max I have, my old iPhone, is only used as a hub. It's in my bag as a hub. It could be on a charger as a hub, a wireless charger, or with a cable charger. So I have always my old iPhone XS Max with me as a hub. But I use other devices instead of the iPhone, if you know what I mean. So instead of using the iPhone directly, I only use it for the internet connection. So I do my social connections, I do replying on emails, I sending messages and so on, doing all that on this iPad Air 4. So basically everything I did on the iPhone I now do on the iPad Air 4. I even take photos with this iPad instead of my iPhone. If I have my iPhone in the bag and I have this more conveniently available, then I take this and take photos with instead of the iPhone. It's much easier for me because I use this as an iPhone, as I said. When I use it more like an iPhone, I use it in portrait mode like this, as you see. I use it in portrait mode. But when using it as a computer, I use it with a Magic Keyboard, of course. And then just do this. As you can see, I use this now as a laptop. Works great. And here on my desktop, I can use the mouse, the touchpad as a mouse, as you can see here. And I can do everything that I normally do. For example, writing in drafts, for example. I can do a lot of writing, blogging and so on here in drafts. No problem whatsoever. So all that I do directly on the iPad itself. Also, I do all my video editing in LumaFusion. So I just start LumaFusion on this one, and then I do some video editing directly on the iPad. So basically here in LumaFusion I do all my video editing for this YouTube channel and so on. So I create new projects and do all that. So basically I do all work I need as a YouTuber and website owner on this iPad Air 4. And I also use YouTube Music for all my music listening. As you can see here, I use YouTube Music for all my music listening. So I do that on my iPad instead of my iPhone. And I can cast to my Sonos speakers directly from YouTube Music. I can cast to my TVs using Chromecast and Smart Play built in my Samsung devices and all that. that, so I can use the YouTube Music app for both music and music videos and so on immediately directly from the YouTube Music app. So also consuming media as YouTube Music, YouTube, videos, books and all that I do on my iPad instead of the iPhone. So when in landscape mode, I basically use it more for work, but in portrait mode I use it more as an iPhone. So when in portrait mode, I basically can create emails and writing messages and so on. I listen to music, as I said, and so on in portrait mode. Much easier to do when holding it like an iPhone, like this. Now I hold it like an iPhone, and it works like an iPhone for me. When I'm home, I'm using the home Wi-Fi network, of course. But when I'm away, I use the internet hotspot feature on my iPhone XS Max. But yes, I know that the iPhone XS Max starts to get really old now, and I need soon to buy a new one because for example, the battery will not last forever on this one. So soon I need to buy a new one. So maybe already this year I buy a new iPhone. Or if I can manage to handle the iPhone XS Max one last year to next year, then I maybe buy a new iPhone next year instead. Because as I said, the iPhone is only an hub for me, and the iPad is now my phone, my computer, my laptop, and everything I do on this one. So that's why I don't have the latest iPhone, for example, the iPhone 12 Pro Max or whatever it's called. So the reason for that is because of this, the iPad Air 4. I have this instead of an iPhone. Okay, that was a bit about why. Please like this video and please subscribe to my YouTube channel. I need more subscribers, so do that please. Bye!